Welcome to the latest edition of Voltsmonster Interactive. I think this is maybe 15.
I think it's one of those. Isn't it?
One of those anyway.
Yeah, it is.
If it's not 15 and it's 14 or 16, it doesn't really matter.
It's
At the end of the day, we have the same crew here. We've got Virgil on the end. We've got Karen Pirate and the gorgeous Harvey.
What a fucking soul.
If you like what we're doing,
Just wink.
I did, yeah.
Did he wink?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Got to play up for the camera, yeah.
That's very. What's his name? Who's the action hero bloke?
That Russell Crowe.
Steve Austin.
No, fucking someone a bit more modern than Steve Austin. You're really showing your age.
Action
The
hero.
$6 million man. No, I don't think he ever winked at anyone apart from the $6 million dog or whatever it was.
The action hero.
And Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
Isn't he known as gorgeous something or other in the film?
Probably.
In maybe Gone in 60 Seconds.
What's that got to do with
Answers on a postcard, comments below.
Yeah.
If Jason Statham was in a film and he was called Gorgeous something, tell us which one it was. Because clearly these dumb people have no idea. And obviously Karen is still in the 70s. So,
Living life.
what?
Living life.
Absolutely living
Yeah.
life. So if you like what we do, click, subscribe, press the bell, throw potatoes at Virgil, whatever you want to do, and we'll crack on. So this week, we have another letter coming a bit later.
Excellent.
It basically involves dating advice. So obviously you haven't dated for a long time. So
Haven't the last few have been vaguely dating related, haven't they?
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it.
the other
You know
one's
we've got
common,
what to
isn't
do while your EV charges.
Yeah.
This is along a similar vein, but it's quite interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, we'll come on to that a bit later. Virgil's here. He's awake. He doesn't have a silly jumper on. Anything you'd like to add to this week's show?
No, I think I said it all, to be honest. So, I'm good with that.
Brilliant. No, that's a good start.
We do get quite a few letters in, don't we?
We definitely, well, they're emails. No one sends letters apart from Karen.
Yeah.
Sorry, you'll catch us
Snail
soon.
mail.
Yeah.
One day.
Anyway, you can't do snail mail because you're vegan. That's it. That's exploiting
True.
snails.
Yeah.
So
Fucking vegans.
exactly. So anyway, we're here today. It's all going to go horribly wrong. First story today.
First story. What do you want to do?
Well, actually, we've got an update from last week's, and it involves a disabled man getting pushed up a hill.
So we covered Nick Wilson last week, and his.
There's a video at the end.
That's the wrong
We
one.
got it. It's up there.
It's the wrong one.
Look, Virgil, you don't actually have to operate it, you just have to select
There we
the
go.
tab. There he is.
Who is
Oh,
Nick
God.
Wilson?
So I had a call with Nick this morning with a bit of an update for his challenge up in Snowdonia. He's actually going to be doing it in May. So Voltsmonster guys are going to be involved. We're helping with some of the filming and just giving a little bit of support. But in the conversation with Nick, he mentioned that the rock climber chair, they've actually got, that's a prototype and a concept to see what could be done for a more accessible and sort of commercial variation. So they have actually got a university involved so that they can produce a more readily accessible one that isn't quite as extreme, and we'll be able to push that out later.
I have to point out that looks like something I made in the 1970s to race down the hill outside my house. Look, there it is there.
He's like that.
We've got to love Nick's sense of humour, and I'm sure it'll come out when we film him. But
He's,
no, it's
he's
a great
definitely got a sense
project.
of
He's basically going to go up Snowdon. I believe halfway up Snowdon there is a large rock. Though.
There is, yeah. So there's been wheelchair.
Obviously,
ascents
Snowdon
previously.
isn't rock.
It's, there's been wheelchair ascents previously. There's an annual event every year, but this will be the first. Nick will be the first person to do it ever unassisted, because halfway up there's, as James says, there's big rock, and most users have to be manhandled over it. But
Lucky.
Nick's
lucky
going to go for it, and
And the
we'll
question
wait to
is,
see how it goes.
is he coming down at the same rate?
bloody hell.
He will probably be coming down faster.
Okay.
Nick's up for a few challenges.
60 mile an hour.
I'm sure we'll be covering those later on.
I think it's more dangerous on the way down, isn't it? Surely.
More than likely. Yeah.
Well,
60 mile an hour down Snowdon.
Could have good brakes, you know.
well, we'll see.
Well,
Also the tip.
you funny you should mention that he has mentioned that Rock Engineering, who developed the chair, Nick has gone to them with the concept of the world land speed record in a wheelchair, which currently is 55 miles per hour. That's all, but in the wheelchair. So Nick wants to smash that. So,
I think that'd be amazing. I think we get Nick on Pendine Sands and attach a rocket to him and see how far.
See,
So we can maybe
Nick,
see what.
you up for that?
Yeah, Nick, if you're up for breaking the sound barrier on Pendine Sands, we'll film it. Well, what can we say? He's got balls.
Definitely.
And
100%.
I think that'd be wicked, and it'll be a challenge that mad fucker that rides motorbikes hasn't done.
That's done.
What's his name? The one who pretended to have a driving licence in
The
Ireland.
TT one.
TT.
The TT
What is his
races.
name?
Oh,
My
God,
mum thinks of him as like her surrogate son who she's never met, had nothing to do with, but she thinks he's amazing.
Beardy Northern fucker.
Yeah, he works on trucks.
What is his name?
It's gone completely out of my
I
head.
mean, it's very fucking vague.
Well, his tagline that he then used in his book was "When you're dead, you're dead," which is
It's true.
True.
Yeah. All right.
and obviously Nick, if he breaks the sound barrier, might also be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
So, but look, it's
Make sure he's wearing a helmet.
yeah. Anyway, we look forward to it, and it isn't a challenge that he's done. The "When you're dead, you're dead." What is his name?
Guy.
Guy.
Harry Biker.
Guy. How bad are we?
Who are you, Guy? Come
Who
on.
are you, Guy? What's his name?
As you can tell, we do our research.
The amazing thing is Virgil has a computer in
I
his
do.
ear.
Only we had.
Go on.
The thing is, though, it's like, what do you say, like, the guy who, I don't know, Guy Martin.
That's the one.
Guy Martin, yeah. And it is the second one down on here. Interestingly, when you type Guy,
Guy Fawkes comes up top.
well, there is a funny thing here. So the first one is Guy Fawkes, and then Guy Martin. And amazing that Guy Martin is more interesting than Guy Ritchie.
No, I am not fucking having it. Take it up with God. Take it up with the Prime Minister. Take it up with the House of fucking Commons, or take it up the arse for all I care. I want what is rightfully mine by divine motherfucking provenance, yeah?
But not unsurprisingly, he's more interesting than Guy Pearce, who was a bloke out of Neighbours. But then after that, you've got Guy Ferrari, who ate a lot of things. So he does he does diners, drivings, and dives. And I follow his sort of social media. And when I'm in America, I try to eat where he's eating. So it clearly works. But
Interesting.
it is interesting that Guy Fawkes is more important than any of those.
I'm disappointed to see Guy Garvey so far down the list.
Who is Guy Garvey?
Who's Guy Garvey? The lead singer of Elbow.
Just the fact that he named a band Elbow would
Elbow.
mean that I wouldn't listen to it. It's like,
The former lead singer of Elbow, he's now a Radio 6 presenter. But
well, that
Radio
means,
6.
that means he probably has less people listening to him than we do.
Yeah.
Why did they call it elbow? Why didn't they call it knee or ankle
there you go.
Or Cankle.
or funny
Or
bone
ball.
or ball sack?
Ball
Anyway, Guy Martin, if you watch this, we challenge you to see whether you can go faster or the man in the wheelchair. There you go. There's
Perhaps
a challenge.
We could have a cheer off.
A chair off between Guy Martin and Nick.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah.
Right, brilliant. There's the plan. We'll ask that question. We will message Guy Martin and we will tell you what he says. It probably will involve expletive, but we'll see what he says. Anyway, next
Guy.
story.
Right, next story. Let's do this one.
You want to do Tesla. So this is, I've seen this video, and this is some moron who decided in a Tesla to drive through a street in, was it San Francisco?
San Diego.
San Diego,
Yeah.
when it rained, and basically became a submarine.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah, smart, isn't it?
I love the fact he's got the windscreen wiper because somehow he managed to find the button necessary to turn them on.
Well, we made it.
He did make it. That doesn't mean the car isn't now full of water.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Because obviously Tesla build quality, it's probably a bit leaky.
I think most vehicles that, I've been in a similar position and ended up in a lot of water.
Yeah.
See what
that's
someone
second
else
comment.
is saying.
But what if the water gets in the exhaust?
Yeah.
Did someone ask that?
Oh, it stopped.
To be fair, it's not water getting in the exhaust that's the problem. It's getting in the air intake that's the problem.
I love the comment about is this the new Tesla submarine? Now, wasn't there? Do you remember the guy? Somewhere in Southeast Asia a few years ago, there was a load of children trapped in a cave. Didn't Elon Musk
invent the submarine
to do it?
Yes.
And the amazing guy,
and then one of them called the other one a paedophile.
Yeah.
Because he said, "I don't want your shitty submarine that you designed last week."
Well, there's an interesting comment.
Or words to that effect.
It's all-wheel drive. Does nobody take like an ice? All electronics are waterproofed and it weighs more than a full-size truck.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what he's saying is it's heavy.
That's heavy, that lad.
Not very agile.
No.
And it's basically a pickup truck with 4 doors. Yeah. What's that? Just a pickup truck. So anyway, I can tell you a funny story about a driving through water. It happened to me. Cut to the chase, right? I've driven through a Ford, right? That I've driven through every day for about 2 years. Same amount of water in it. Because it starts raining, doesn't it? And next to it is ongoing a wedding, right? So I'm now stuck in the Ford. So because the wedding's so dog shit boring, all the wedding guests come out and basically stand there laughing at us, shouting at us. And of course my mate who's following me in another 4x4 decides it was a warm day, so I'm going to get out of my car and come and see you. Because I thought I'm not getting my feet wet. So he wades out in his shorts and flip-flops, water up to here, right? We're having a chat, right? I've called the AA. Who turns up? First thing that turns up is Thames Valley Police. Right? With probably 2 of the stupidest people you could imagine, who decided to walk across the bridge next to us and shout to me,
It's alright, mate.
What's the name of this road?
You can't park there, sir.
I know I can't park here. I'm on the phone to the police.
Fucking hell, how did you manage to get in here?
It's just...
was I able to start the car? Is the first stupid question that came from the police. Clearly, if I could start the fucking car, I would have started it and driven out. I wouldn't have sat in the middle of a Ford.
To be fair, they're probably just going through their situation assessment.
Well, they probably had a risk assessment.
Yeah,
and
so-
risk assessments are a really important thing. However, they don't account for people's stupidity. That is a given, right? The next thing that then turns up, right, is a fire engine. Followed by 3 more fire engines, an ambulance, a paramedic, and some other... I think the Coast Guard might have turned up as well, right? Right? And then the police helicopter. Right? So the police flew there to look at me, right? How short on hours must their pilot have been? They thought, I'll just go and look at a car stuck in a Ford, right? So while this is going on, a little bit of rain falls and the water rises just a little bit. The whole time, my mate is stood next to me at my driver's door, right, and is talking to me. What I then notice is the fire brigade getting ready for the rescue, right? Right, the AA have turned up, right? All we need is a rope, right? Fire brigade are there. What do?
Put a dinghy out of it.
6 of them put on dry suits. They inflate a dinghy, right? They wear...
Attached to a shoreline as well, I bet.
Yes, shoreline. 2 shorelines. They walk over the bridge, so they've got a shoreline on either
each
side.
side,
Right.
right.
Bearing in mind the Ford is about as wide as our studio, right? And my car is in the middle of it, right? Right? So they so they launch their boat and come out and ask me, am I okay? And do I need rescuing? Right? You could have literally stood on the bridge and shouted it at me. But let's not forget, my mate is stood in his flip-flops next to the car in the water, right? Which isn't that terribly deep, right? So they then say, we're not qualified to attach the rescue cable from the AA truck to the front of the car. So who do they ask to do this?
Your mate.
My mate. So my mate in flip-flops gets asked to walk out of the Ford, take the rope, right, and walk back into the Ford to attach it to my car, while there's 6 blokes in dry suits with air canisters, a boat, right, and a couple of ambulances and a paramedic, right? So you couldn't have made this up, right? And then I get dragged out by the AA man. His cable wasn't quite long enough, so he had to drive his truck in to the water. And the fire brigade told him he wasn't allowed to do it. And he's like, "Oh, don't be stupid, right?
Yeah.
I've got a job to do."
Yeah.
So they do this. So they pull me out, right? And I get out of the car, right? And the chief fireman, you know, like Fireman Sam, you know, they've all got different coloured hats, right? And they've got what lines. Obviously, they do nothing day to day, do they? What do firemen actually do?
Not a lot.
Right? Anyway,
Slide down the pole, don't they? Most of the time, practice
they
sliding
slide down people's poles. Yeah, that's true. So the chief fireman comes over to me and goes, "You are so irresponsible."
Responsible for driving through a Ford.
Right, no. He said, "You're so irresponsible. Do you understand the amount of resources that this is required to rescue you?" I kind of looked at him and went...
You just called the AA, didn't you?
I called the AA, right? I didn't call the RNLI, the Coast Guard, a paramedic, 3 fire engines,
and the helicopter.
Scuba divers.
a helicopter, right? And he looked at me and he went, "People like you disgust me," right? And walks off.
Helpful.
And I'm stood there with my mate, who's in his flip-flops, who's done the entire rescue himself.
Did you, at this point, if you had a screwdriver in your car, would you have just plunged it into the rib next to you and just taken great satisfaction and watching it go?
There is part of me, look, I get that they don't do very much, so they get a bit bored. But it is one of those remarkable situations in life where you kind of go... And of course, while this is all going
They
on...
needed a training scenario. They were probably looking for
Absolutely.
that training scenario for months and it hadn't come up.
Let's not-
And as soon as the call came out, they were like, "Hey, this is it."
The best bit about this was it's a public road, right? That someone's allowed to have water on it, right? And I was in a 4x4. But there is an ironic end story to this.
Go on.
So my car gets recovered and it goes to the dealership, right? And the lease company are saying to me, or it was like a long-term rental, and they said to me, "We're not paying for this, you've got to pay for it. Because you got it wet," right? That was their whole argument, right? So I walk into the dealership where my car is, and there's like, you know those Nazi flags that used to be on the front of buildings in the Second World War, right?
I remember that, yeah.
You'll see where this is going in a second. It didn't have Nazi regalia on it or anything like that, but it had a giant picture of my car, the same colour.
In a Ford, I bet.
No, driving through the sea. Right? Right. But it was about 30 foot high and about 40 foot wide in the middle of the dealership. And
It's false promises, isn't it?
clearly they realised that they weren't going to win that court case. But the
Did
funny...
you sue them for misadvertising?
Yeah, it was like, well, how can I not do that? And that's what I did, and it died. But anyway, it was basically it happened because the ECU of the car was in the passenger footwell. Right? In a 4x4, under the carpet. So every time I'd gone through the Ford, it had got a little bit wetter. And then eventually it had gone, nah. You know, so it had a moment of Karen and died. But anyway, cut a long story short, it was one of those bizarre moments, totally surreal moments. And of course, we love firemen and all that, Fireman Sam, and obviously the policeman who asked me very stupid questions.
Yeah, I wish you did cut that short story.
The one question they didn't ask me, the police, was, "Is this your car?"
Yeah. Can't write it, can you?
You can't.
Can't.
No. Talking of written things, I'm quite curious about that letter today. Yeah, I picked it up quite a bit.
He's picked it up.
Yeah.
It was probably you who sent it in.
I'm not that
I think
bored.
they're following on from the what's better, public toilet or Tinder
There you go.
Thank you.
from last week.
Virgil's getting back connected again.
It's not Apple, is it?
No, it's Pear. by the looks of it.
Shit.
It does come up as pear, which I do think is quite funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone at TCL sat there and thought, I know what we'll do. We'll put a pear logo just to annoy people. Anyway, I think the next story is Karen's.
It is.
It is. So this is the Kawasaki have just released an electric variant of the Ninja. Now, any motorcyclists know that Ninjas and the GPZs were classic bikes back in the day. So they've got an electric version, except for it's not. It's essentially a scooter.
What?
But I like it. I like, you know.
So they've created
a Ninja GPZ scooter.
But it's not green either.
It's
All Ninjas need to be green.
It's got a little bit of green on it.
They've obviously got a little bit of green because obviously they're doing it in. It's a little bit of green. It's a little bit of Ninja. So it's like a little Ninja. That looks more like a motorbike.
It does.
Than a scooter.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say? We're looking forward to some interesting motorbikes out of the big boys. I've actually owned a Ninja. I've actually owned a ZX. I owned a ZX12R, which is a fast thing.
Yes.
So that was at the time when basically Hayabusas and
I've ridden the 900, but
the 12 was definitely an interesting thing. It used to make my legs go to sleep.
Really?
It's the angle, isn't it?
It was made for people with short legs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a long leg.
It's made for the jockeys.
Yeah, it's like all Japanese bikes are made for small people, so that doesn't exactly help. So if you're tall and disabled like me, it's like you need a BMW because you get adjustable seats and things like that.
So just to notice that there is the walk mode on this as well, so you can move the bike forward or backwards around about 3.1 mile an hour, or 1.8 mile an hour backwards.
Why would you do that?
Who knows?
Is it because it's electric and it jams up if you don't?
Not sure.
Because obviously
a thing on electric bikes to have a reverse.
Yeah, but on a normal petrol bike, you just dip the clutch and you can just push it along.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's quite nice looking. I do approve.
Okay, cool. Well done, Kawasaki. You've made a bike that Virgil approves of.
Yeah, well done.
It looks like Thunderbird 1 mated with one of the other Thunderbirds. I can't remember which Thunderbird was white. Obviously, if you like this and you happen to know the comment below.
Like whitehead?
Or what?
No. The actual Thunderbirds are named after the rockets.
The rockets,
and the vehicles, not the people.
No.
Okay.
Because there's no black Thunderbirds, is there?
Because that would be like us calling you Thunderbird 1.
Yeah.
Or Thunderbird number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, Virgil did do Thunderbird number 2, so you could call me Thunderbird 2.
Yeah.
Did he? Did he drive Thunderbird 2?
He did, yeah.
See, I can't remember that. Karen will remember that.
See, I can't remember that.
Are you a Thunderbird Anorak?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
so which was the white one?
So, I mean, it's the silver and blue one was Thunderbird 1. The green one was Thunderbird 2. 3 was the red one, which is the space one. You got 4, which is the submarine yellow. And the 5th one is the one in space, which is the silver one.
You are such a geek.
He knows his stuff.
I basically brains the geek for Thunderbirds.
He knows his stuff.
I do.
You're like Brains if he had a lower IQ, aren't you?
Yeah, I am actually. That's so accurate. Fucking hell. Right.
Well, we should probably go to the letter, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's go to the letter.
Given we've had a number of things. So, the letter.
Right.
I believe there's a typo on this, but I'm not sure who it refers to.
Okay.
Right?
Intrigued.
Because it's addressed to Dear Sparky and the Virgin.
See, I could be either one because Sparky being the tech guy and Virgin being close to Virgil.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe it's a
or you're
combination.
just who looks like a virgin? Like a virgin.
You.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, anyway, I've been and seen Madonna in the 80s and she was shit.
Really?
Yeah. I actually understand why Guy Ritchie left her.
Yeah. She's even more shit.
Yeah, well, that's just a different thing altogether.
Madonna, if you're watching this, please next to us.
Anyway, look, I hope this message finds you in great spirits. I'm planning a long distance journey in my Nissan Leaf for a date. Considering the contingencies, should things not proceed as I hoped, it's always wise to plan ahead, particularly when charging logistics may play a crucial role. Obviously, when you're going on a date, a certain amount of preparation goes on. Obviously, I'm not going to ask about your date preparations because Harvey's might be weird. But anyway, the person summarising, they're obviously in America, so this might affect this, right? Considering the charging duration for the Nissan Leaf, level 1, charging standard, 110 volt outlet, that's how I know it's in America, is the slowest charging option, providing about 4 to 5 miles of range per hour. A full charge might take more than 20 hours, so it would be impractical for a quick turnaround. Right? Obviously, if you're staying overnight and it's gone really well, that's an issue.
Not an issue, yep.
I assume by level 1 they mean granny charger, so the thing you get with the car.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2, they say 240 volt outlet. That's basically a 7 kilowatt European charger.
Mm-hmm.
Much faster. Obviously, that's relative to the first one. It's not like Nick on Pendine Sands, you know. Offering about 20 to 25 miles of range per hour, a full charge could be achieved in about 4 to 8 hours, making it a feasible option with a few hours to spare, but only if dinner doesn't end at the starter. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's DC charging, obviously the quickest option, capable of charging a battery from 20% to 80% in approximately 40 minutes to an hour. Availability, as we know, varies, but it will be the best option if it doesn't go well. What would you guys recommend? There is an additional PS in this. In the event I find myself needing to justify why I'm sitting in my car post-date, having made an inappropriate excuse to leave, I will also need some creative and plausible additional excuses. Best regards, Imran.
Imran.
Obviously, I hope it's not Imran Khan, because he's in prison for 14 years and that won't defeat the object. Unless he's dating in prison, of course.
He may well be.
And got his hands on EV.
So,
Don't pick up the soap.
Yeah.
So,
filthy hands. You know.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So the first one is which would we recommend and what is the excuse? God,
Would you
it's
need
like
an excuse on
tumbleweed.
the first two?
Dogs died.
Well, on the first two, you'd need to find an excuse to go and stay in an alternate hotel, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Dogs died. You know, you can't deal with it. Mine's all over the place, and you just, you know.
But then you've said my dog's died.
Yeah,
you go and sit in the car waiting for it to charge.
Yeah.
And he happens to walk, or she, he, whatever.
He, she.
Your
happens
dog's
to
at the
walk,
back of the
Yeah.
car.
right?
Yeah.
And your dog's in. You left your dog in the back of the car. That is
Yeah.
very naughty. Even
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Right?
That is, yeah.
How do you explain that?
I've got 2 dogs. One of them's at home, one of them's at the back.
Virgil,
There we go.
have you got any dating advice? Oh,
Well, I mean, I am the. So if there's a toilet around,
How
I'd
long have we
say,
got?
yeah, I'd say
your
venture
excuse.
into the public
Your
toilet.
excuse is go to the public toilet.
Go to the public toilet, see what you can find. You never know.
This seems to be a recurring theme with you, isn't
It
it?
is.
So I just want to go a bit of a
Glory
fetish. Glory holes and public toilets.
That's
Wow.
That's the name of our episode today.
Fuck's sake.
Oh dear
Look
God.
out for
Glory
fire.
holes.
And Karen, at your
Go
age,
for the fun now. There's got more than one more.
Karen, at your age, have you got any suggestions? Yeah, with your immense experience.
Experience. I just think you want to lose a going on of a date in a Nissan Leaf to start with, I think. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
I'd
give
rather
up,
just go on
give
foot.
up and go home.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Well, it depends which Nissan Leaf, doesn't it? If it's the older one, it wouldn't be that far away, right? If it's the newer one, it's not a bad
it's
car.
not too bad. Yeah.
Yes, I leave.
What about your advice, James?
I think my advice is to Imran. Is what would my advice be? My advice has always been about all dates is about plan your exit, because you know I can tell you another story, but it's probably not appropriate for this. But it involved a pizza, and the reason I chose pizza to eat is it comes in a defined timescale, doesn't it? In the
Good choice.
no matter how bad it's going, you can always eat a pizza, can't you? Yeah?
Yeah.
You can eat it in a relatively quick, And if you're
And it comes really quickly.
well, and also it's one of the few things that you don't look like a twat asking for it to go in a box. Obviously, in America, everyone asks for their dinner to be in a box to take home, and then probably puts in their bin. But you know, pizza is you can get away with saying, "Can you put 2 slices in the box for later?"
Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
So my advice is go for a pizza, and obviously go and find a Pizza Hut somewhere or Domino's or whatever. So other pizza places are available with EV chargers.
With EV charging,
with
yes,
rapid
right.
EV chargers.
There probably aren't that many.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that would be my advice. So it's all in the planning, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. You can fold a pizza as well. You can fold it into like a
Calzone.
calzone.
Yeah.
Just eat it and just you're gone. You're out of there.
Where it's like a calzone.
Yeah. You can fold it and just get
Make
it
your
done.
own calzone and out the door.
Yeah, get out of there. Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, the upside to that is that pizza looks relatively expensive, and you can pick how expensive you want your pizza to look.
Yeah.
So you can go to a little pizzeria and have a garlic bread or whatever. Have some olives.
No
It's
pineapple.
amazing.
Can do.
No pineapple.
No pineapple.
You're vegan.
No, but just
Why don't you eat pineapple?
You do not have pineapple on pizzas. It's not Italian.
Do you ever eat pineapple?
Yes,
In
Yeah.
what?
but not on pizzas.
Just not on pizzas.
Do you have it with gammon?
No.
No.
Pineapple juice.
Oh no, of course you don't. What a stupid
Don't.
question. Fucking vegans.
Pineapple and
Did you ask? Do you have it with gammon?
Just
gammon and eggs. Gammon and eggs.
It's traumatising Mark.
Yeah, like
Sorry, mate.
if he sues me for vegan abuse or something.
Yeah.
Do you ever smell a bit of gammon and go, fuck, like that smells
no,
good?
it makes me gag.
Does it?
Mhm.
Bloody hell.
Gagging.
But there are many other things that make him gag, and you want to see what his girlfriend did to him.
Oh god. Jesus.
And on that note, we should probably go on to the next
Probably
story.
should. We go on to mine next. We're not connected. That's good, isn't it?
No.
Fucking hell.
Well, it's not connected to the internet.
Fucking is now.
There we go.
So,
Tech wizard.
yeah, Tech Wizard. That's what. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! It's a Lancia.
It's the Lancia, yeah, the first EV. So I don't know how you pronounce that word.
Ypsilon.
Ypsilon.
Why can you not say that word?
Ypsilon, yeah.
Silent.
Super mini.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird combination of letters.
They have made Ypsilons for quite some time.
Mhm.
Have they? Oh,
Yeah, there's been a number of them, and they were based on the. I can't remember what the car was originally, but then the one after was based on the Fiat 500.
Okay.
And then someone in marketing in Chrysler came along and went, "We've got this really good idea. Lancias sell really shit in the UK. So what we'll do is no one will notice if we change the badges on it to be Chrysler, the other well-known
Shit car.
popular brand of cars in the UK."
I would have a Lancia over a Chrysler any day.
And that's what they did. And then they did the same thing with the Delta, which was a bit of a weird-looking car at the best of times. But they, not like old Deltas. So
Not
if you're a
the- I was
petrol
gonna say,
head,
not the old
you will
Deltas.
love
The old Deltas are gorgeous.
like one of my favourite cars in the world ever is a Lancia Delta Evo, like Integrale 2 Evo.
Yeah.
Awesome beast of a car.
Beautiful.
Right. So this is probably based on the same chassis, I suspect, as the cunningly named Peugeot 2008 or something.
Oh yeah.
I like the.
Because they share the.
It looks like it's similar, doesn't it?
Yeah. I do like the front, but I'm not too keen on the back.
Look, I think, as it goes, I think it's quite cute.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I mean, it's a super mini, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it has to be.
I would personally, I would choose that over a Peugeot 2008 sport wheel.
Definitely.
There's no question. But then I've always bought weird cars, so
They're looking serious, aren't they?
they do look serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy on the left.
Got
is
their
funny.
upside.
It does.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Alright, well,
Well, there you go.
there's the first look at the new Super Mini.
Cool.
Awesome.
Actually, I do have two stories. I don't know why they're not up there. But anyway.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So anyway, the first one I noticed is something that we predicted at ZPN Energy
Some time
about
ago.
2 years ago or more ago, and AM, which is automotive management, are now saying that dealerships are struggling to give test drives because the dealerships don't have enough charge points. And what they brilliantly got is that happy fellow grasping his appendage
Strong grip, isn't it?
to plug in a car. But anyway, this could all be solved with some technology from ZPN Energy. And it's quite interesting that they are raising this as an issue when it isn't actually an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's Motorvise? I don't know who Motorvise is. A consultancy, an automotive consultancy. They're a group of people that obviously just tell you what you already knew.
Yeah, I'll just close the window.
Being that
Shall I get back to it?
we told them all this would be happening years ago, and they had to hire a consultancy to find out what we were told.
What we already told them for free.
And everyone went there, la 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 la.
Yeah.
Now they've all admitted, actually you're right, but they can't say, you're right. They said, let's go and hire a consultancy just to find out.
And then we'll
buy
buy
a huge bucket of money.
And then we'll buy the
And then
wrong
we'll
thing.
go away and ignore it and buy something else. Yeah.
Yes. Right, anyway, so clearly there's an opportunity there. Mark, fill your boots. You should probably ring Motorvise, Fraser Brown. Assuming that might be Fraser Brown at the top, but I couldn't be. And enlighten his consultancy into what they actually should be doing.
But this isn't just an issue for dealerships as well, because this is going to be hitting hire car companies as well, as we well know.
Yeah.
That, there's a few well-known hire car companies which are struggling getting turning around their vehicles in time.
It's quite interesting here. It does say that out of those 60 dealerships, 6% had more EV demonstrator vehicles than charging points.
Mm-hmm.
One having 20 EVs compared with just 8 charging points. And 4 had 12 demonstrators with 2 charging points.
Madness.
And they're all slow charging
Slow
points.
chargers.
So obviously Imran knows all about that. So obviously when you go to a car dealership, prepare to buy a pizza and wait some time for a charger to come available.
Drug fueled insanity.
And obviously I'm not sure what we have to register our interest in. Virgil's scrolling around.
He's looking busy.
He's obviously struggling to cope with internet that's serious or doesn't have pictures of something that's inappropriate.
Yeah. I was thinking it's a bit of drug fueled insanity, all of this stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Just
Virgil?
No, well maybe, but the slow charges, I feel like it's something that someone who's a bit high and a bit out of this world.
Look, I agree with you.
Those are fast chargers.
Yeah. Oh, they're fast chargers.
Yeah, they're fast chargers,
Oh,
but
okay.
they're kind of slow. The amazing thing is that someone paid him to do that.
Yeah. Well,
We
money,
could have
money
told
talks,
them without anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, the other story I've got, which is, I don't know if I've opened it. No.
Let's have a look.
If I did, if not, I will find it.
Nissan Leaf.
Don't think you have. No, you haven't. Go on.
It's not quite the same, is it?
No.
1 minute later.
Mark, mate.
1 hour later.
Oh yes, I did. Here it is. Oh God. Now let's just do it the old pattern.
1 eternity later.
It's much easier to do this with a keyboard. Please select the right bit of the thing.
See the guy that owns it struggles.
Lewis Hamilton speaks out over explosive decision to join Ferrari.
Well, that proves that he won't actually ever win another title. But it will make him more sanctimonious. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Right, so there is this new car coming. It's known as the...
Dildo.
So there is this new car coming, and it's called 47. Allegedly, it's going to be so luxury, it's going to take on Bentley and, in the headline in Auto Express, Jaguar. I'm not sure that they're sold to the same people, but they are called 4-7. I don't know if 4-7 means it's got 7 seats, or it's for 7 days, or it's not called that, or it's just called 4's even, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it may actually be like Swedish or something.
Is there a picture?
There is a bloke called Nick Collins who runs it, but they are allegedly creating something genuinely different. But there are no pictures of 4-7. There are lots of images of textures like that, which looks like a leaf. Not a Nissan Leaf, but just a leaf. But it also says it's going to champion customers.
Very bearded bloke.
So does that mean when you buy one, they're going to run out behind you going, yeah?
This.
But there are some good things about this, is that they are saying it's going to produce emotions, which a lot of EVs are criticised for being a bit dull. Although we were driving the Lotus Elantra and recently.
Oh, he's fixed on the long term.
So
Let's give my thumb a workout.
they are based in somewhere near London. I don't know if that's true. But we watch this space. Anyone got any views on that?
This could be either a major, incredibly interesting product, or just marketing bullshit.
Yeah. So it's just. It is interesting that Auto Express wrote a whole article on it. Obviously, car magazines aren't exactly noted for their what's the word? Candidness. And it might just be a load of rubbish.
Yeah, could be.
But, you know, hopefully it's more successful than the likes of TVR, which may or may not arrive. But anyone got any views on that?
It's ominous, isn't it?
It is. I looked at it and thought, that is amazing that they've managed to create so much information but actually tell you literally nothing.
It's like, they're either very, very ballsy or incredibly confident in awesome products.
Absolutely. And there have been a number of product launches this week. So we've had the Maxus E-Deliver 7, which is a good little van.
Yep.
We've had the A380, whatever it is, out of Geely, which probably won't ever work, but it will be a very large people carrier.
Yep.
And then there's the people carrier that's coming from Volvo.
This is the Geely one. Is that the LEVC one?
Yes.
Yes.
And then there's the Volvo equivalent, which is called whatever it's called.
Profile picture.
Huh?
He doesn't even have a profile picture. He's a bit mysterious himself.
Anyway, so there have been a number of car launches this week. Not to forget the MG3, which is a hybrid. So the Chinese are coming.
Nice.
So
I do love Chinese.
we all love a Chinese. Although it always gives me a real headache. Like basically, Chinese give me a headache. Not Chinese people, just food.
Yeah.
It's something about the MSG or something like that.
Probably the MSG.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wake up the following day feeling like I've had 15 pints. Kind of how he feels every morning.
Yeah. You got used to it now, don't you?
I've got used to it now.
Yeah.
A bit of rum.
Yeah.
I've moderated now, just 14. But.
Just 14 pints. Okay. Well,
I think
that's it.
That wraps it up.
We need to do a closing. So what have we learned from today? We've learned that Virgil may be a virgin. We've also learned that he loves the Chinese. We've learned that Karen drinks less than 15 pints on an average night, which is something.
Remarkable, actually.
And we've learned that nothing from you.
From me. Yeah,
So no change there.
Mysterious.
But the most important thing we've learned today
is that James can't use his own tablets.
Well, there is that. But the most important thing, much more important than that, that pizza is the best way to tell the time when you're on a date.
Yeah.
And for
Especially
me,
if it's got pineapple on it, you know.
Yeah, if it's got pineapple on it, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're screwed, yeah.
But on that note, it's bye from me.
Goodbye from me. See you there.
Later, folks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
How gormless can he be? Christian, he's very gormless. He's actually worse than you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just happy to be here.
Oh.